What is going on, everybody? This is 86 here, back with another vlog. It is Wednesday, um, October 1st. Happy October. Got Halloween coming up soon. Um, just want to start off by saying you guys are all amazing, wonderful people. Thank you guys for supporting the channel and coming back every day and checking out my videos and my vlogs and my videos for Bam Bam, my gaming videos, all that stuff. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Um, just kind of get my day started. Just took Bam Bam for a walk. Slowly, waking up, getting stuff, getting stuff going. Had a pretty healthy breakfast, just fruit. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna get some good exercising done soon. Just wanted to do a quick vlog and kind of talk about some things that are on my mind and going on with me. I've been reading, started reading again yesterday. In yesterday's vlog, I was just talking about, how I feel like I really lack discipline to um, just stay focused and constantly be consistent with working towards my goals and everything. So yesterday, I really just tried to set myself some daily goals and just really focused on getting the things done that I wanted to get throughout the day, and it seemed to have went pretty well. I got some good reading done. I read a few chapters in the book, which was, and took notes on it, which was the main thing that I really wanted to do. Is that exercising and just being more consistent with a lot of the things that I'm trying to work on, instead of just saying it, actually doing it, and not procrastinating about it. So feeling really good about that. I just really want to get myself away from, not so much, like, I want to be more focused on uploading content than consuming content on YouTube. So I really just try to stay off of social media as much as possible yesterday. So I just really stayed off YouTube as much as possible. Every time I caught myself going to the shorts, it's like that. Your brain just is wired to just go there now when you get bored. And when I caught myself doing that, I would stop myself and find something to do that was constructive and actually was me accomplishing something, whether it was reading, playing my game, whatever, working on some content for some of the mobile games I've been playing, or just getting stuff done around the store that need to be done. There was a lot of stuff that need to be done, so instead of just sitting there and scrolling on YouTube and not really accomplishing much, which that's the big trap about like YouTube Shorts and TikTok and stuff like that, is you just get trapped into this like never-ending cycle of brain rot, and then you just don't get shit done. And it at the end of the day, it just feels terrible to just not have accomplished much of anything. And we're starting to get quite a big amount of gold going on in the game now, so maybe we could start buying some good stuff in here. But the main thing I really wanted to talk about is in this book. I've been reading, and every chapter kind of has a new topic about personal self growth and things to work on and stuff like that. And this chapter was kind of about like pushing yourself to the edge, always not really being in your comfort zone. Finding out what your fears are, whether they be a fear of failure or a fear of success, whatever it may be, and not letting your fears stop you from pursuing what you want. So a big thing for me is I have a real fear of failure. I feel like if I'm gonna do something and fail at it, what's the point? But that it's not always about the end goal. Sometimes it's about the journey and what you learn in the process of trying to accomplish your goal. It's not always about completing your goal or succeeding. Sometimes it's just about how much you actually grow on the way to your goal. And so that's a main thing that I'm really trying to focus on, is not just so much the end goal, but actually what I'm learning and growing on while trying to accomplish that goal. And you can also learn from your failures just as much as you can your successes. You can learn from your mistakes, what you did wrong. It's really just not a good thing to be scared of failure, because failure is just a natural part of life. You know, you fail at some things, you succeed at others. If you fail, you can always try again, and just things like that. Not to let my own mind psych myself out. Another big part of that is just like I said, laziness, lack of discipline, procrastination. You know, saying I'm going to do something and then not actually doing it. So that's like my big focus this week is really just I'm really just trying to instill some discipline in myself. Um, really just hit the goals that I want to hit, and stop procrastinating about that shit, because I really just get tired of saying all these things that I want to do, but never really making any progress towards them. You know, I'm just talking off the side of my neck. You know, it's just don't want to be doing that anymore. You know, I really actually want to start making progress for a change. So that's what I am doing. I am trying my hardest to keep my mind focused. You know, yellow bass, I would sell that. I want to make as much gold as I can. And a saying from that: a fearful man who knows he is fearful is far more trustable. So what that means is, you know, if you can, I know, and identify your fears, and you know what you're scared of, um, it's much easier for you to move on and face those fears. You know, when you can identify those, and not only that, when you can not let them hold you back. You know, so that's, like I said, a really big thing of what I'm going to be working on is identifying my fears and approaching them head on. You know, not letting them stop me, hold me back anymore. I'm tired of being held back by myself or my own insecurities and things like that. So, going to be really pushing on that. Acknowledge your fears, embrace your fears, and use them. You can use sometimes you can turn your fears into an advantage, or something along that lines. But the main thing is just embracing things that you fear and not letting them hold you back. Um, and feel free, if anybody has anything to add in the comments about any of these things that might benefit to the conversation, feel free. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Let's go ahead and reel this fish in real fast. We'll keep the driftwood. And this is all about the realm of change. In this book is, constantly, fears often hold you back from actually making changes in your life. And so that's like one of the big aspects about it is actually, not being too comfortable, and not just um, letting your fears hold you back. Because, a lot of the times, if you're fearful of something like, um, maybe fearful of pursuing a new job because you don't want to jeopardize the current job, or lose the comfortability you have now. But sometimes it's not always the best thing to be too comfortable. If you're too comfortable, you get complacent, you get lazy. It's kind of always good to keep yourself like just out of the comfort zone, so that way you always feel like you need to keep moving and keep making progress. And this is all like stuff new, like a lot of new information I'm absorbing. So I might not have all these right from the way that it's coming from the book. This is just like my interpretation of them. So keep in mind, this could all change. This is just how I'm taking it as I read it. Um, each task is a mirage of necessity. Um, so don't not really sure what each task is a mirage of necessity. I had a good thought of what that was last night, but I should have wrote that down as well. Let me know what you guys think that means. Each task is is a mirage of necessity. Trying to think of what that actually means to me. So it's essentially saying that every task you do is in belief to you something that is necessary for you to do, when in reality it probably is not. Not really sure how to take that one. But the main thing that I took from this chapter of the book is, know your real edge and don't fake it. So, like I said, that's kind of um, has to do with pushing yourself to the edge. Living on the edge of your fear, pushing yourself even past your fears. Um, it is honorable for a man to admit his fears, resistance, and edge of practice. It is simply true that each man has his limit, his capacity for growth, and his destiny. But it is dishonorable for him to lie to himself or others about his real place. He shouldn't pretend that he is more enlightened than he is, nor should he stop short of his actual edge. The more a man is playing his real edge, the more valuable he is as a good company for other men. The more he can be trusted to be authentic and fully present. Where a man's edge is located is less important than whether he is actually living his edge as truth, rather than being lazy or deluded. So that's like the forethought of this chapter. Um, and this is just basically talking about to chapter, like I said, is just talking about to identify your fears, um, recognize them, and actually move forward and not let them stop you. And it's good to identify those. A man who knows his fears and is willing to accept those and is not held back by those is much more capable of a man who does not acknowledge them and just runs from them, you know? So that's where I'm at with that. Really good chapter that just teaches you to, believe in yourself, not let, your fears hold you back, to, always push on and really just identify your fears and just kind of um, not let them be something that holds you back in your pursuits. So it's kind of just where I'm at with that. I'm gonna reread all these chapters multiple times so I really get a grasp of them and continue to take notes. Just because it's like a lot of information to take in. And it's some of it can be really hard to digest the first time. You kind of need multiple reads to like get all the information absorbed. Plus, some of it can be kind of like uh, not really cryptic. It's just kind of the way it's worded can be a little difficult for my mind sometimes. It takes a few reads. But I'm gonna continue, reading this book, working on my personal growth, and just, like I said, I just started to really acknowledge all the things that I see wrong with myself lately, and I'm really just trying to work on those and not let myself hold myself back anymore, and start actually pursuing things that I want to, and start actually having some deal of um what's the word I can't think of. But that's just where I'm at with that. It's a really good book. Highly recommended if anybody wants to check it out. It is called The Way of the Superior Man, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. Just kind of a book on, spiritual growth, a lot of things that it's not, I don't really feel like it's necessarily just for men. It can be for women as well. It's just a book that kind of teaches you how to, you know, deal with a lot of mental hurdles in life, and just a lot of crazy things. It's a really good book. It's really teaching me to kind of like open my mind up a little bit, and I'm just really trying to start reading books that feed my brain and try to teach me to think in a new way. That's enough about that though. Like I said, if anybody has any questions or comments about what I just talked about, feel free to let me know. I would love to hear from you guys because you guys might have a different interpretation of that. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that because mine could be completely wrong as well. It probably is, but that's just my interpretation of that chapter. So, um, anything else going on with me? Not really much. Work did go really well yesterday. I stayed pretty productive. I got a lot done. Um, it was just overall a really nice day. I have to say it went pretty fast. Um, no issues with customers, nothing like that. It would end up being pretty stormy out, so it was pretty quiet, and it was overall just a really good day. I did end up picking up Megabonk. That's a new roguelike game that just recently came out. It's actually a lot of fun. It's like $9 on Steam. So if anybody's interested in that, I'm going to be doing some content for that, so be sure to check that out. The game I'm playing right now is just like a idle screensaver type thing. It's a game too, called Tiny Aquarium, where you just kind of build a aquarium that you can have in your screensaver. It's just kind of like an idle thing that does things in the background. It's pretty cool. It's just something I like to throw on and just kind of chill. And I can't have a real aquarium, so I just kind of um, enjoy this for the time being. Um, Feed these guys. Let me see what there is new for decorations. Got a good amount of gold. Not those ones. Tree. Ancient chest for 5,000. That's crazy. Kind of like that though. I'm buying it. Why not? Well, let's put that like right there. Boom. Ancient chest right in the middle there. What else do we have for decorations? I like a lot of plant life. I don't want it to be too cluttered though. We need some new fishies. I don't think I have enough for anything there. Not really. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with me. I'm just gonna keep, trying to make progress towards my goals. Keep on the exercising, keep up on the, reading this book, and hopefully, expanding my mind at the same time. Trying to. That's really the big thing. I'm just trying to really just change the way I think about things, because I know that's really just what holds me back with so many things. And so I'm gonna keep working on that. I'm gonna have another good day. Hopefully, stay positive, stay in the right direction, get some exercising done, get ready for work soon. Should be a nice productive day. But yeah, thanks everybody for checking out the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe.